wiring and protection for the pool pumps appear adequate. The 20 amps breaker for the 1.5 horsepower and 1 horsepower pumps is sufficient, assuming these motors are rated appropriately. The 30 amps breaker for the 3 horsepower pump is also appropriate if it is rated at 125% of the motor's full load current. The relay cabinet provides a convenient point for control and protection. To determine if the motors have internal thermal overloads without physically inspecting them is difficult. However, it's important to note that most modern motors have built-in thermal protection. You are correct in using table 430.52 to size the breaker feeding the motor. This table provides the minimum breaker size based on the motor's full load current and service factor. It is important to ensure that the voltage of the motors is within the allowable range specified by the motor manufacturer. You must verify that the motors are rated for the expected operating temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. It is crucial to ensure that the motors have adequate ventilation to prevent overheating. The conduit used to feed the motors should not be overcrowded. Finally, you have to verify that the motors are properly grounded. It is recommended to visually inspect the motors to confirm that they have thermal overloads. Measure the voltage at the motors to ensure it is within the specified range. Review the motor nameplates to confirm that they are rated for 40 degrees Celsius. Ensure that the motors have adequate ventilation. Check the conduit fill and correct any overfilling. Verify that the motors are properly grounded. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific guidelines for electrical installations, including those for pool pumps. Understanding and adhering to these guidelines is critical for ensuring safety and compliance. The proper selection and sizing of breakers are paramount to prevent overcurrents and potential fire hazards. Breakers are designed to trip or disconnect the circuit when the current exceeds their rated capacity. This protects the wiring and connected equipment from damage. Table 430.52 is indeed the correct reference for determining the appropriate breaker size for motors. This table considers the motor's full load current, which is the current the motor draws when operating at its rated horsepower and voltage. The table also accounts for the motor's design letter, which indicates its starting current characteristics. Motors with higher starting currents may require larger breakers to prevent nuisance tripping during startup. The service factor of a motor is a multiplier that indicates the amount of overload the motor can handle for a limited time. A service factor of 1.15 means the motor can handle 115% of its rated load for short periods. This factor is important to consider when sizing the motor's overload protection, which is separate from the breaker. Overload protection is designed to protect the motor from overheating due to prolonged overloads, while the breaker protects the wiring from short circuits and ground faults. Thermal overloads are devices that sense the motor's temperature and trip the circuit if the temperature exceeds a safe limit. These can be internal to the motor or external, such as overload relays installed in the motor starter. Internal thermal overloads are typically self-resetting, meaning they will automatically reset once the motor cools down. External overload relays usually require manual reset. Voltage drop is the reduction in voltage that occurs along a conductor due to its resistance and the current flowing through it. Excessive voltage drop can cause motors to overheat and operate inefficiently. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to a maximum of 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To minimize voltage drop, use conductors of adequate size and keep wiring runs as short as possible. Motor insulation is designed to withstand the operating temperature of the motor. Motors are typically classified by their insulation class, which indicates the maximum allowable operating temperature. Common insulation classes include Class A, Class B, Class F, and Class H, with higher classes indicating higher temperature ratings. It is important to ensure that the motor's insulation class is appropriate for the ambient temperature and the motor's operating conditions. Proper motor cooling is essential to prevent overheating and premature failure. Motors generate heat due to electrical losses and friction. This heat must be dissipated to maintain the motor's operating temperature within safe limits. Motors are typically cooled by air, either through natural convection or forced ventilation. Enclosed motors may require external cooling fans to provide adequate ventilation. Conduit fill refers to the percentage of the conduit's cross-sectional area that is occupied by conductors. The NEC limits conduit fill to prevent overheating and damage to the conductors. Overfilling a conduit can restrict airflow and cause the conductors to overheat, leading to insulation breakdown and potential short circuits. The NEC provides tables that specify the maximum number of conductors allowed in different sizes of conduit. Proper grounding is critical for electrical safety. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault currents to flow back to the source, tripping the breaker and preventing electrical shock hazards. All metal parts of the motor, including the frame and conduit, should be properly grounded. Grounding conductors should be sized according to the NEC. The 40°C temperature rise specification refers to the maximum allowable increase in the motor's winding temperature above the ambient temperature. This is an important factor in determining the motor's overall operating temperature and its expected lifespan. Exceeding the specified temperature rise can significantly reduce the motor's lifespan. In summary, ensuring proper wiring, breaker sizing, thermal overload protection, voltage drop management, motor insulation, cooling, conduit fill, and grounding are crucial for the safe and reliable operation of pool pump motors. Consulting the NEC and qualified electricians is highly recommended to ensure compliance and safety. It's essential to understand the specific requirements for pool pump installations, as they are subject to more stringent regulations due to the presence of water and the potential for electrical shock hazards. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are often required for circuits supplying pool pumps to provide additional protection against electrical shock. These devices detect small imbalances in the current flowing through the circuit and trip the breaker if a ground fault is detected. Regular inspections and maintenance are also crucial for ensuring the continued safe operation of pool pump motors. This includes checking the wiring for damage, inspecting the motor for signs of overheating, and verifying that the grounding system is intact. Any issues should be addressed promptly by a qualified electrician. Furthermore, when replacing a pool pump motor, it is important to select a motor that is specifically designed for pool pump applications. These motors are typically constructed with corrosion-resistant materials and are designed to withstand the harsh environment around swimming pools. They may also include additional safety features, such as thermal overload protection and GFCI protection. In addition to the electrical considerations, it is also important to consider the hydraulic aspects of the pool pump system. This includes ensuring that the pump is properly sized for the pool volume and the filtration system. An undersized pump will not provide adequate circulation and filtration, while an oversized pump will waste energy and may damage the filtration system. The piping connected to the pool pump should also be properly sized to minimize friction losses and ensure efficient operation. Sharp bends and long runs of piping can significantly increase the pump's workload and reduce its performance. It is also important to ensure that the pump is properly primed before starting it. This means filling the pump housing with water to remove any air pockets. Air pockets can cause the pump to cavitate, which can damage the impeller and reduce its efficiency. Finally, it is important to regularly clean the pump strainer basket to remove any debris that may be clogging the pump. The clogged strainer basket can restrict water flow and cause the pump to overheat. By following these guidelines, you can ensure the safe, reliable, and efficient operation of your pool pump system. Remember to always consult with qualified professionals for any electrical or hydraulic work related to your pool. They can provide expert advice and ensure that all work is performed in accordance with applicable codes and standards. Safety should always be the top priority when dealing with electrical equipment, especially around water. Always disconnect the power supply before performing any maintenance or repairs on the pool pump system, and never attempt to work on electrical equipment if you are not qualified to do so. Proper planning and execution are key to a successful and safe pool pump installation. This involves carefully assessing the existing electrical system, selecting the appropriate equipment, and following all applicable codes and standards. It also involves thoroughly testing the system after installation to ensure that it is operating correctly and safely. With proper care and attention, your pool pump system can provide years of reliable service, keeping your pool clean and enjoyable for you and your family. And if there is any doubt about the setup, call in a professional. It is always better to be safe than sorry. Electrical work, especially around water, can be very dangerous if not done correctly. So, it is always best to leave it to the experts. They have the training, experience, and tools to ensure that the job is done safely and properly. Regular maintenance is also essential for keeping your pool pump system in good condition. This includes cleaning the strainer basket, lubricating the motor bearings, and inspecting the wiring for damage. By performing these simple tasks on a regular basis, you can extend the life of your pump and prevent costly repairs. And don't forget to keep your pool water properly balanced. Improper water chemistry can damage the pump and other pool equipment. So be sure to test your water regularly and adjust the chemicals as needed. A well-maintained pool pump system is not only safer, but it will also save you money in the long run. By keeping your pump running efficiently, you will reduce your energy consumption and extend its lifespan. So take the time to properly care for your pool pump system, and it will reward you with years of trouble-free service. Remember that even seemingly small issues can escalate into larger problems if left unaddressed. Regular inspections can help identify potential problems early on, allowing you to take corrective action before they become more serious. This can save you time, money, and hassle in the long run. Also, be aware of the signs of a failing pool pump motor. These can include unusual noises, excessive vibration, decreased water flow, and overheating. If you notice any of these symptoms, it is important to have the motor inspected by a qualified technician as soon as possible. Delaying repairs can lead to further damage and potentially require a complete motor replacement. When it comes to pool pump motors, prevention is always better than cure. By following the guidelines outlined in this narration, you can help ensure the safe, reliable, and efficient operation of your pool pump system for years to come. Keep your pool clean and safe for everyone to enjoy.